Good morning and welcome to North by Northwest Presents Nuggets of Ideas, Inspiration, and Information from Region 13's finest. Today we have Janice Wheeler, a Ranger Education Specialist, back again, and she will be doing my first tag, part 2. So Janice, I think we are ready for you to get started.
Okay, my first tag, part 2. What's next? In case I haven't met all of you, I'm a member of the Pride of Portland Chorus and part of the faculty for Region 13 in Harmony College Northwest. And every year, except this year, we have the Region 13 Arrangers Workshop at HCNW. And I am also the coordinator of the annual tag writing contest, which is still happening that's co-sponsored by HCNW and North by Northwest Region 13. And it's the tag writing contest that inspired this series of 6 parts for how to write a tag. My first tag, part 2. So we're going to look at what's next. We have the melody and words from last time. If you recall, I'll just play that for you again. So last time we chose that melody and word, and you learned how you can choose your own melody and word. And today we're going to find a key signature and a time signature for that melody of my first tag. A key signature identifies the tonal center of a melody. It tells us what the key note is, which is the pitch where the melody feels at rest. And it also identifies the scale or specific pattern of 7 ascending pitches that begins with that key note. A key signature is represented on a piece of music by a specific group of sharps or flats. And there are a couple of examples below there. And occasionally there's nothing in that field on the sheet music, and that happens too. On a music staff, it immediately follows the clef sign. So there's the clef symbol for the treble clef, and the key signature immediately follows that on the piece of music. So how do you find the key signature for a melody? Well, to find that, there are a couple of things you need to do. First, you need to find and name the pitches of the notes for each word syllable of the melody. And then you need to find the scale that includes all or most of those pitches. We know what to name the pitches of notes for the melody because of the curl of the treble clef symbol. And the curl of the treble clef symbol is right there. It shows us that the second line of the staff is where the pitch of G just above middle C is to be written for the treble clef. This treble clef line, therefore, is also known as the G clef. And G sounds like this. If we take a look at our melody for my first tag, we can see that there are 2 G's in that melody. So the first note and the last note. So you can listen to that and see, those are G's because they're on the second line of the treble clef. So we want to find and name the pitches of the notes of our melody. The first 7 letters of the alphabet are used to name the pitches for notes on the lines and spaces of the treble clef. You can place them on the staff below, ascending in alphabetical order, by using your knowledge of where G is. So as you see, we have G there on the second line, and then we just follow alphabetically. A, B, C, D, E, F, G for each on each of the lines and spaces. Then we can also go backwards from the G, making sure that we're using the alphabet. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You'll notice that for the C here, we have a little line through it. That's what's called a ledger line. It's because it's below the staff. That helps us understand that it's on the first line if there were another line below the staff. So with that information, we can name the notes of the tag melody. So here they are: G, and then E. There's our E. And then D. There's our D. And etc. until we get to the end. And so we know that the letter names of our melody are G, E, D, D, A, F sharp, and G. So just as an aside, that G that we've been talking about on an 88 key piano keyboard is what's known as the G4. And the reason it's called the G4 is because it's in the 4th octave on the piano keyboard, the 88 piano keyboard. And that's the key right there. Whoops. That's the key right there. That is the G that we just played. So now that we know what the names of all of our notes are, the alphabet names, we can find a scale that includes all or most of them. A scale is a specific pattern of pitches that are arranged in ascending order that spans an octave and repeats in the next octave. So we're going to take those letter names and we're going to arrange them in alphabetical order. And I've done that for you there. And then we're going to find the major scale that has most or all of them using the chart of major scales that we'll see in the next slide. So we're looking for something that contains G, A, D, E, F sharp, and G. And wow, the G major scale just happens to do that. So that's the scale that includes all of our melody notes. And there you can see that the G major scale does indeed include all of those melody notes. So we're all set. We can say the scale that's used for the tag melody is G major, and the G major scale has 1 sharp that's on the F of the scale. So this is the scale that we know is part of our, is the basis for our melody. On the chart of scales, we saw that there were key signatures or visual symbols printed on the musical staff. Those identify the tonal center of the scale and indicate what pitches of that scale need to be consistently sharp or flatted. That visual symbol that was on the G major scale is printed here for you. So the tonal center of our melody is G, and the pitch of F is consistently sharp in the G major scale in every octave where it occurs, unless indicated otherwise. So the key signature for my first tag is defined by the G major scale. It has one sharp for the pitch of F, and the visual symbol is there for you to note. So now when we play our melody, we know that it's in the key of G. So what you're listening to is the key of G. Now let's go on to the, whoops. So now for the time signature. A time signature allows us to organize the pulse beats or meter of the melody into small units called measures. The meter actually structures the pulse beats of the melody in time. The measures organize pulse beats of the melody into small equal units. It's represented on a piece of music by a set of stacked numbers, one on top of the other. The top number equals the number of beats per measure, and the bottom number equals what note value is one beat. So for instance, if a melody is in 3/4 time, the top note tells you how many beats there are in the measure, and the top number tells you how many beats are in the measure, and the bottom number tells you what note is one beat. In this case, it's the quarter note. On a music clef, it immediately follows the key signature. So there we have the clef symbol, the key signature, and now we have the time signature. The time signature, we know now, organizes pulse beats of a melody into small units called measures. So what kind of time signatures are there? Well, there are two basic kinds. Simple have only one accented beat per measure, and 3/4 time is considered a simple time signature. 3 beats per measure with accent on one beat. So when we hear someone count 3/4 time, they count it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If we had a melody in 2/4 time, that's 2 beats per measure with an accent on beat 1. And that would sound like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Compound time signatures have more than one accented beat per measure. And 4/4 time is one of the most popular time signatures used in music. And it is a compound signature. It has more than one accented beat per measure. So it's counted like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We also sometimes see the 4/4 time signature written as a C, which stands for common time, because it is the most commonly used time signature in our popular music. So how do you find a time signature? Well, you have to feel the pulse pattern of the melody. So what are some helpful techniques that allow you to do that? Well, they include listening, conducting, and tapping your foot. There are probably other ways, but those are the only 3 I know. So as you listen to this, see if you can feel the pulse pattern and get an idea of which time signature it might be. Let's listen to it again and see if you can feel that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So hopefully you felt that along with me. What are some helpful hints while you play the melody and you're listening to see if you can figure out where that first downbeat begins. Well, melodies don't always begin on the first downbeat. Many begin with a pickup. Nouns often fall on beat 1, and the last beat of a measure often has the first syllable of a word that finishes on the downbeat of the next measure. Let's listen to that one more time and see if you can fit that in. So did you hear, little boy, where are you tonight? To help us along, rest assured my tag fits into 3/4 time. And here's the chart of time signatures that are commonly used in popular music and also in our music in barbershop. And as you can see there, 3/4 time has 3 beats per measure and is counted 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So let's take a look at those helpful hints on the right side of the screen for how to know how to organize those beats into measures. Remember, melodies don't always begin on the first downbeat. Many begin with a pickup. Nouns often fall on beat 1, and the last beat of a measure often has the first syllable of a word that finishes on the downbeat of the next measure. So let's try putting our melody into measures. So if we started it on the downbeat, this is how it would look. Little boy, where are you tonight? But that doesn't exactly look real satisfying. What if we used a 2-note pickup, which is what we kind of felt when we listened to the listen for the pulse? This way, now there's the nouns on beat 1. Where are you? And this noun starts on the last beat of this measure and finishes on the downbeat of the next measure. So that's probably the right way to create measures for our melody. So the time signature for my first tag, the melody is in 3/4 time, has 3 beats per measure. Each quarter note gets 1 beat, and the melody begins with a 2-note pickup. So let's listen to it one more time with those facts in mind. And I think we found our time signature. So let's summarize what we've done today. We wanted to find a key signature and a time signature. And for the melody and words of my first tag, we have found and now know that the key signature is G major with 1 sharp, F sharp. We found that by learning what the pitches and names of the melody notes were, and then by finding the scale that contained all or most of those. This time signature we figured out by listening for the pulse of the melody, and we know that it's 3/4 time. Each measure has 3 beats. A quarter note equals 1 beat, and the melody begins with a 2-note pickup. So there's our key signature, and there's our time signature, following the key signature on the treble clef 5. We've taken the beats of the notes and words of my first tag melody, and they've been organized into measures that define the meter and the tonal center, or the at-rest feel of the melody. So we've gone from this notation of the melody to this notation, which includes, all of the key things that we need to know about the melody. So let's listen to that one more time. And notice that that last note lets us feel at rest, like it's finished. If you happen to choose a public domain song instead of creating your own melody, you'll notice on the public domain sheet music that you found that there's a key signature and a time signature already displayed. Here's an example for the song Sweet Adeline. Notice that right after the treble clef sign, there's a key signature and a time signature. You can figure out what those mean by referring to the chart of major scales and the chart of time signatures that we've included in our presentation. Now, for your chosen melody and word, you are able to find the key signature to identify the tonal center of the melody, and then you'll find the name and pitches of the notes for each word syllable of your melody. That will allow you to find the key signature and the scale that includes all or most of those pitches. The time signature you can find by defining the pulse beat of the melody. You do that by listening and feeling the melody, and then organizing those into measures. Next time we'll be moving on to what else do I need to know? Well, what else you need to know is what are the chords for the key signature. So next time we'll be finding the chords for the key signature of G major. See you next time.
Thanks, Janice. Be sure to tune in again next week for more of North by Northwest Presents. And I do see that we have at least one question in the comments, so Janice will go out and check that question and respond to that. And again, if you have any ideas for topics, be sure to list those in the comments below. Have a great weekend. Bye.